Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron arrives in Nouakchott on Monday to attend the African Union summit, after which he will visit Nigeria. Macron is expected to make a push for security measures in the Sahel. Elena Casas reports from Paris.
President Macron will focus on the progress of the G5 Sahel force, a plan to bring together 5,000 troops from Burkina Faso, Mauritania, Mali, Chad and Niger to fight jihadi groups and people trafficking in the region. That was supposed to be up and running by March, but it's been delayed by a lack of funds. Macron has been personally invested in the project, which partly aims to allow France to withdraw its troops from the Sahel region. The French president also comes fresh from an EU summit where countries agreed to create processing centres on African soil for asylum seekers seeking to reach Europe, which could involve AU countries, including Niger. No country has yet agreed to host these centres. After the AU summit, Macron heads to Nigeria, an unusual choice for a French president. Past presidents have tended to focus their Africa trips on France's former colonies, but Macron is keen to show he's looking beyond that. He's set to launch an African cultural season, which will take place here in France in 2020 at a star-studded evening in Lagos, including Fela Kuti, Angelique Kidjo and Youssou N'Dour. Elena Casas, CGTN, Paris.
Let's get to the latest now on those developments out of Mauritania. I'm joined live from Nouakchott by CGTN's Robert Nagila. Robert, it seems that it's all systems go at the African Union summit there. So what's the latest on the summit itself, and can you take us through the agenda today?
Well, Beatrice, the opening ceremony of the 31st African Union Summit is just getting underway, albeit about an hour later than it should have. President Paul Kagame, the current AU chair, will address that gathering as soon as the entertainment bit of it is over, which is normally what they start with. We also expect addresses from a couple of other leaders. And then immediately after that, they will then retreat to closed-door sessions where they will look at a resolutions that have been worked on throughout the week by the Executive Council of Ministers, which they are expected to adopt. Once those are adopted, those resolutions will then be announced to the rest of the continent on Monday during the during the closing ceremony. However, apart from that, there are other bilateral meetings which will take place on the sidelines of the main agenda. We also expect some of those meetings to touch on the main theme for this year's summit, which is corruption. They'll also talk about, of course, women in power, which was the highlight of yesterday's conference hosted by the AU chair, Paul Kagame. Beatrice?
Robert, and as we heard there from Elena in Paris, Sahel security is a main topic of discussion, with French President Emmanuel Macron heading to Nouakchott on Monday. What more do you know about that situation?
Well, this comes on the back of that attack just a couple of days ago at the Sahel headquarters in Mali, where a suicide bomber drove a vehicle into the headquarters compound. 2 soldiers were killed. The suicide bombers were also killed in that, including the attackers. It just goes to show the threat posed by jihad militants within this particular region. This has been a problem in this area for the better part of the last 5 or so odd years. Now they're trying to come to grips with that. We know that they formed this G5 to try and tackle this problem because it's hindering development in some of the areas where these jihadi militants are operating under in these 5 countries. So we expect Mr. Macron to come in and pledge more support in terms of not just financial but military hardware as well, logistical support as well. We've seen in the past other countries like the US also provide some logistical support. Now, in what form exactly that support from Mr. Macron will be, we have to wait and see, but we believe that it will be in terms of financial and logistical support. Beatrice?